I've read a lot of comic books, probably more than I should have. I've got that shelf back there that has a bunch of comic books. I've got a comiXology library full to the brim. And yet, I keep reading. And I keep finding awesome storylines. But despite all of the awesome storylines I've read, only a few actual characters have really stood out to me. One of those is one that surprised me, and that would surprise you as well. I'm talking about Gwenpool. In 2015, the unbelievable happened. A brand new character took the Marvel Comics world by a storm. She immediately had a cult following. People loved her. I loved her. Of course, we're talking about Spider-Gwen, an alternate universe Spider-Woman where Gwen Stacy got bit and Peter Parker bit the bullet, or in this case, Lizard. Don't ask, just read. In the hype that surrounded this, Marvel capitalized with alternate covers of their other comics, imagining Gwen Stacy as those characters. There was Wolverine, Doctor Strange, Thor, Captain America, and even stranger incarnations like Groot or MODOK. But the cover that birthed our girl Gwenpool was that of Deadpool's Secret Wars #2. And then the unbelievable happened again. Fans loved Gwenpool, seeing a huge response in a lot of cosplay. Marvel editor Jordan White approached Christopher Hastings to write up her story. They started small. She had a 3-issue backup series in Howard the Duck, and a holiday special issue, which is frankly still one of my favorite single issues to date. In this time, Hastings had the idea for Gwen's backstory, and after Gwen was met with success, Marvel ordered a Gwenpool series, and Hastings alongside the Japanese art girl of Gurihiru created the 25-issue long series, The Unbelievable Gwenpool. Gwendolyn Poole was like any comic book nerd, waiting for Wednesday to read comics and dreaming of the fantastical world. Until she actually left our world and decided to head to Earth 616. A girl with no powers except for her extensive knowledge of comic books had to make a name for herself in the Marvel world so that she could quite literally stay alive. I loved the premise. I loved the very idea of Gwenpool. But she wasn't just a female version of Deadpool or a knockoff of Gwen. What made her special was she was us. And I really connected with that. Now going further, I am going to spoil the comic. So if you don't want spoilers, you should really just go buy the comic on comiXology or something. Please read it. It's really good. Comic books have always been a niche hobby for me. I love them, and count the days till the new pulls. I love talking with the people working the counter or other comic book fans, but, well, some of my friends actually do enjoy them. I don't really get to talk about them with them. Like, at all. With anybody. Maybe that's why this video exists. But I saw that Gwen's character too. I saw it in her a lot. At the end of the day, she was a nerd who didn't like her life in our universe. She didn't belong in her life, and she certainly sees that with her family. So she decides her best bet is to just leave. Just get out. And I think that's one of the most relatable traits I've ever seen in a comic book character. Look, the amount of times I have felt like I didn't fit in was astounding. The amount of times I wanted to disappear? Pretty close to the same number. What I love about Gwen's story is that it comes around full circle. It gives hope for the people who are still looking for a place to belong. She finds the place she fits in and does everything she can to protect her place in it. We see this theme through her entire existence, but it couldn't be more prevalent than in Gwenpool Strikes Back, a 5-issue miniseries where Gwen realizes she is going to get retconned out of the Marvel canon. The first 4 issues of the series, Gwen is in denial and is trying to fix her problem in every possible way. Well, except for confronting it. But when Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, sits her down, we see the humanity in Gwen. I see a scared human being who's about to lose something that she fought so hard to obtain. In a way, I see me. Sure, the scene leads to a larger retcon of how Gwen got her powers, so she can actually stay in the Marvel Universe. But this particular scene speaks volumes. In a 5-issue series, every panel matters. The writers really had to believe in this idea to wrap up the series with such an emotional climax. And it worked. It really, really worked. Look at these panels. You can see the emotion in Gwen's face. Really a measure to the art. You can see the pain, the denial, the sadness, and you really feel it. I understand what it's like to be Kamala, and I also understand what it's like to be Gwen. There's so much denial in her, and so much confliction and emotion. That's all bottled up in there at once. That needs to come out. I can't read these pages without tearing up. Because at the end of the day, I wish I had a friend like Kamala. I'm pretty good at hiding when things aren't okay. I would say that I'm pretty good at it, at least. Like Gwen, I tend to hide behind antics and wackiness. It doesn't get more real than that. Not wanting to face your emotions because you're afraid of what's on the other side. It's human. It's normal. And it's an important topic that must be handled with care. When you deal with big topics, and you deal with them right, you can get some of the best comic book storylines, some of the best storylines in general out there. So Gwen went from someone who desperately wanted to find her place in the multiverse to almost losing it. That sounds pretty human to me. Well, maybe not in the multiverse part, but still. I found my own place like she did. And like her, I would give everything not to lose it. I love it, and I love my best friends with all my heart. Gwenpool is one of the most humanized characters, and also, at the same time, one of the most meta comic book characters. So give her a chance, like I did. She'll surprise you. And hopefully, we'll see more of Gwen in the future.